Today I'll be showing you a few simple ways to increase graphics card performance. This guide is more directed at NVIDIA GPUs, however what I show you will also work with AMD GPUs as well, however the settings might just be a little different. For this simple overclock you will need to download several free tools, the first of which is MSI Afterburner. MSI Afterburner is the overclocking utility which works on any brand of graphics card, enabling you to adjust core voltage or vCore, core clock and memory clock, and make custom fan profiles, which will be very useful once we start overclocking. The next tools are benchmarking software. Anything that stresses the GPU will work fine, but for this I have chosen 3 Unigine benchmarks: Heaven, Valley and Superposition. The final tool, which is optional, is the temperature and clock monitor. For this I'll be using Hardware Info and Tech PowerUp GPU Z. The reason these tools are optional is due to Afterburner's built-in monitoring features, which are also adequate for what we are doing. Once you have downloaded and set up the listed tools above, it is time to set up your card. First we want to right click on the desktop and select NVIDIA Control Panel. Once it opens, go to Manage 3D Settings and select Restore to Defaults, just to ensure nothing strange has happened to your settings. However, you can skip this step if you've previously adjusted something in there. After restoring to default, navigate to Power Management mode and Manage 3D Settings, and change it to Prefer Maximum Performance. While you're there, find the option, which should be 5 below, that is labelled Texture Filtering Quality, and change it to High Performance, then hit Apply. This will not give you a blurry image whatsoever, but it may increase the idle temperature just slightly. Next, open Afterburner and navigate to the Settings symbol and tick the box next to Unlock Voltage Control and Unlock Voltage Monitoring, and hit Apply. Before we start overclocking, make sure all other tabs and windows are closed to ensure the performance is used by the benchmark and not being taken up by other programs. Now we are ready to start overclocking. The first thing we are going to do is max out the power and temperature limit. This gives the card more temperature and more power headroom, meaning the card must be hotter and or drawing more power before it starts throttling. With a card tolerating more temperature, you will need to make a custom fan curve if you're still running on an air-cooled card, which is okay if you have a beefy cooler. To do this, open Settings in Afterburner and navigate to the Fan tab, and click the box that says Enable User-Defined Software Automatic Fan Control. Now you can make your own fan profile, or you can copy mine, which is a very aggressive and loud fan curve. I highly recommend that you configure your own to get the best noise to thermal ratio. Next we're going to start increasing the megahertz of the core and the memory. I like to start by adding 100 on the core and then run a benchmark. When it passes the test, bump up the core another 50 and repeat until you get a crash or a blue screen. If your computer locks up in the crash, just hit the restart button, usually found on the front I/O panel. When you're back in Afterburner, try a little more memory. However, if that doesn't improve stability, move the voltage slider just a little and then start pushing the core and memory like you did before. And remember to move the memory as well, not just the core. This is a long process. Typically it can take several hours to find a stable overclock. Once you find your max stable overclock of your card, start bringing the voltage back down until it becomes unstable, just so that you're not putting extra voltage into the card for no good reason. To ensure the card is stable, run all the benchmarks above and or other ones in the loop for a couple of hours. If a crash occurs, try adjusting the voltage slider and try again. Once you have stress tested your card, you are now ready to run this as a daily overclock.